One of the most popular Star Wars fan theory questions is whether Mace Windu could have survived his confrontation with Sidious. If Mace Windu were to have survived, how do we think he would have been able to do it? Popular theory is that Mace could have used the dark side of the Force to survive the savage Force lightning attack that he sustained in Palpatine's office. Mace Windu was actually rather unique amongst the Jedi, as he could channel the darkness within him to become stronger, particularly through his aggressive vapored lightsaber form that channeled his anger and hate into power. The Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith novelizations explore this, detailing how he channels and controls the dark side through the vapored lightsaber form. The Revenge of the Sith novel also actually details how, during his lightsaber confrontation with Sidious, Mace Windu could feel the dark side course through him when using vapored as he thrashed away at the Sith Lord. Mace had a much higher affinity to the dark side than pretty much any other Jedi. The only difference is he was strong enough to control it and resist its temptation through lightsaber techniques, Force abilities and meditation, channeling it to make him stronger. Mace Windu already had darkness coursing through him from his fight with the Sith Lord, where he had just seen some of the finest Jedi slaughtered like lambs. Then, Anakin, the Chosen One, shows up only to betray him, and he is then blasted with serious amounts of Force lightning. Dark side users can draw upon the dark side of the Force to continue living, even when seriously injured. We see it when Darth Maul is chopped in half by Obi-Wan, falling backwards into the shaft, only to survive and eventually return stronger. We see it with Anakin when he's chopped up and burnt to a crisp by Obi-Wan on Mustafar, only to return as the most feared Sith. And there are stories detailing how Darth Bane, the creator of the Sith Rule of Two, was poisoned and maintained his life force using the dark side of the Force, murdering a family to draw upon the hatred, anger and suffering to survive longer until he could source an antidote. I believe that Mace Windu, channeling his hatred for Palpatine, alongside the fear of the Sith destroying the Jedi and taking over the galaxy, would have been enough for him to survive Palpatine's initial attack. We see both Sidious and Luke Skywalker sustain a longer barrage of Force lightning than Mace does. Mace sustains 14 seconds of Force lightning, whereas Luke sustains 30 seconds and Palpatine receives 28 seconds of Force lightning in one long burst deflected from Mace Windu's lightsaber. I think where this theory falls short, and that's no pun intended, is whether he would have survived the huge fall from Palpatine's office window. Palpatine's office was located at 500 Republica, one of the highest buildings on Coruscant that stood at 2 miles high. Now I don't care who you are, Jedi or Sith alike, that's a long way down, likely bouncing off buildings and speeders as you go before you splat on the concrete and Durasteel on the ground below. I guess that the only way that he could have survived is if he managed to cling onto a speeder on the way down, much like we see Anakin doing in Attack of the Clones. Sure, he may sustain some injuries, but it would certainly be better than falling for 2 miles. He could also use the Force to shield himself, absorbing the blow of the short fall to the speeder. Off screen, Samuel L. Jackson actually asked George Lucas whether he could have survived the fall, to which George responded in his typical fashion, "Yeah, sure." Now do I believe that Mace Windu survived? Hey, stranger things have happened in the Star Wars universe. Would I love to see a Mace Windu series like we saw with Kenobi? Heck yes, and I think it would be the dark and gritty series that we've all been craving. Imagine an angry and scarred Mace Windu operating in the shadows, striking down his opponents. Make it happen, Disney. What do you guys think? Drop us a thumbs up and a subscribe below and comment what you think. Did Mace Windu survive?